I thank Amref Earth Africa. I know you are here. I don't want to disturb you. I really thank you so much for the support. You have really supported me. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I thank Dr. Patrick Kagusi, the country manager. who quickly ordered the aeroplane in the shortest time, and it took my parents safely, and he was extremely happy and comfortable. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I will never forget you. But because of my pain, I want to resign. I want to resign. I don't want to do any mistake. Let me first settle. I want to resign. I want to thank Manago team. You are fantastic team. May God bless you. Dr. Muding, I will never forget you. We even brought you some gifts from Nairobi. Simple gifts, but it's a sign of love. You cared, Uncle Ellie, fully, with much love. I thank Isaac and Dr. Joseph. For you, you are a team lead of massaging. Thank you so much. You gave us a good reception in Mulago. You did your best. You did your best. I thank you so much. Mbona bakutina Mulago, mweje kujitina. Mulago ni rwaro rundi munonga nabamanye cyo gukora n'abashaho barungi mureke kutina Mulago ni rwaro rundi munonga. Tukashikana Nairobi batugira ngo we didn't know that these drugs are in Uganda, are in Mulago. Thank you so much, Dr. Muding. Thank you so much. Ninyenda kwebaza Uncle D, omwami wanje. Ninyenda kwebaza Shivoni. Ninyenda kwebaza Roni. Ninyenda kwebaza Terry. Ninyenda kwebaza Muhinda. Abami beitu mwebale munonga munonga. Mwebale munonga. Tukuza kugamba details mukozere konka mwebale kwereka Uncle L rukundo. Mwebale munonga. Mwen kamba gachira Uncle L. Uncle L abali muzire wetu akatushomesa nyono murongo wanje ogu kwiha primary 4 mpaka tingi nkashamba nawe gaun all saints nachi mukorera nashemerwa yangu atamukono yangabo wakene simwesi eje ni nsima ya thana yanshomesa nansingi naheza naza degree naheza nkorera myanya mirungi kandi atagindondeire konka bwa rukundo kandi nakumotivating atinguza kurondera murimo oyefe kandi oyefaho kandi through his guidance otunge cyokwenda wabatine corruption yon abakumugamba nibamugamba mbasasire nabo tubakubimanyere ni politics ati politics nizo kintu cyoki nyomba sasira ba media mbasasire bambe bagamba tabakubimanya mbasasire kandi mukarokoka ki mbasasire nyomba sasire ekindi ango era katwegesa tolerance abari omuntu orikugumisiriza buri kimwe okija kumureportinga aho atereka ekyo kyonka ekyo ninza kukimisinga reka kandi okireka oreeba watebekana wakora eki abantu eki bashemerire kukora mbwenu Uncle Eri Ruhanga wiguro kariyekora kandi Ruhanga mpeire omugisha shiranga nanguni mbwena ntijore tinkumanya kunkubasa kwebasa rahango umwiguro kwihanahura akwebye umutima gwawe bukwenda eshanti joro ombeire chance yo kuzika omuzaire wanje mbwena ntijore tube ntwenda kukurira ngo ere nyonyi twena abana biyashomeise tukakora plani aza plani egigumeho bantu tugurira ntijore nyonyi egume mutware ngo tube ntwenda kugikurira ngo eri mureke bambe tugurira ntijore nyonyi egume muhe n'akasere muto mundeza sereba gake nabeshengereza nimwemanya mwena muri abatungi nimuvuga amamodoka mwine za diguri mwine abakazi banyu abango era bashomeise mwena mureke tugurira ntijore enyonyi nabeshengereza mube mutagikuzire niza kugikora mu izina ryanjye na quotation ngana kitungire esentezo nubusha ango ere byakozere wokumara yanjye tinkuwe kwata abana b'abasirikare babena torotoro kunarondere sente ona nabo kanu bingi ona baba ati aba atumakirire nkahi ati yona hetero mutwe ona kugikura aba babena tambira amataka ababena horeza biha ona mwana mwenda mutugure nyonyeje neterema kumagwire shuba ranga yabo kwatsize mwakunzira ngo eri tumereka tukagunda ntijoro kwino mwicyo shitamyaho embiyo kuza kubihera shandu cyegeza chikurira nabeshengereza mureke tukunda ntijore eshandu jere ngo kumureba okwashushuira ishokeri okwakurebeka nje namutumana kukuti ishokujunora antijere ranga wawe wakwanyire niwakumanya abana bakubeye yakoma hati kongarahanga wawe wafutira amagara gango eri okamugumisiriza ebintu bye byona nebirungi nebibi akwinango eri antijere akwine ranga.
Honorable General ELLY TUMWINE. In the Uganda Cancer Institute, I was the lead doctor who looked after him. My name is Modini Abrahams. I'm a consultant oncologist at the Cancer Institute. Together with Dr. Okuku Fred, who is not here. Others are Dr. Solomon Chibude, who is a radiation oncologist. Dr. Lutu Israel, a senior consultant radiation oncologist. Dr. Leta Joseph, who is a medical officer. Is right on my left. Isaac Muliowa, who was the oncology nurse, who time and again, together with me, looked after Honorable General ELLY TUMWINE. We also want to recognize also the efforts from Mulago Specialized Women and Neonatal Hospital, where General was admitted before he was transferred to Nairobi. We also had input from the Uganda Heart Institute, from Dr. Mamino John, the senior consultant cardiothoracic surgeon. We also had a team from Mulago under the leadership of Dr. Rosemary Bianyima, especially the gastrointestinal surgeons who came in to help with the care of Honorable ELLY TUMWINE. As well as to recognize the input of colleagues from Nairobi Hospital, Professor Godfrey Nsereko Lule and Professor Tieno Abinya, who finally was the tail end of the care of Honorable General ELLY TUMWINE. How and when did we begin to meet with Honorable? We first had our encounter as late 2020, just before the lockdown, and that's when we had our initial consult with him. Honorable ELLY TUMWINE was then 67, 66 years of age, and he presented to us with very three cardinal symptoms. One was cough, the other one was chest pain, and wheezing. These were very classical symptoms of a lung problem. We went ahead to investigate him. We had what we call a PET scan, which is an investigative tool to determine if you have any active cells anywhere in your body that might actually be reminiscent of a cancer process. That had actually revealed him to have a left-sided lung mass, as well as swollen lung cells in the middle of his chest, and it had actually already spread to involve his backbone as well. We had quite a back and forth conversation with Honorable General ELLY TUMWINE on whether we should actually do a biopsy as a gold standard in cancer care. A biopsy is key to determine the actual enemy we were fighting. Those were the words we actually used to talk to him about. It was a back and forth conversation until sometime in June of 2021. It was almost 6 months after our interface with him that we eventually had a biopsy done at the Cancer Institute. We were able to confirm beyond reasonable doubt that we were dealing with a form of lung cancer, an adenocarcinoma, which is quite a common form of cancer in our current setting. Over 80 to 90% of the people who are non-smokers can actually develop this kind of cancer, compared to the other type that is common in people who are smokers. We then embarked on therapy. We were able to initiate Honorable on treatment. We began him on what is called targeted therapy, because now we know that all cancer types are treated very differently, and particularly the type that he had quite a good benefit on what we call targeted therapy, which is a simple medication that we actually provided to Honorable. He took this medication for an entire 1 year. From June 2021, he did very well. He went back home, he went back to his usual routine, and we used to come and check him here at home, and we came up with what he called village therapy as a form of treatment as well, out of the city. And we were all very happy and very glad. Honorable was doing very well. It was until towards late of June 2022 that he actually called us and told us that he wasn't feeling well. At this particular time, Honorable had complained of, progressive back pain and weakness of his lower limbs. We were very quick to actually have a quick imaging to evaluate whether we were dealing with progressive disease or not. We did a couple of scans, and it all seemed like stable disease, bearing in mind that we were already dealing with very advanced lung cancer because of his bone involvement. We then had a tumor discussion at the Cancer Institute, and we agreed that we provide him with additional form of treatment to radiate the particular areas on his spine that had been involved by disease. He went ahead and successfully completed the treatment with quite very remarkable improvement. His pains all receded, his weak limbs became a little stronger, and we're quite very happy that all seemed to be progressing well. It was until late July of this year, 2022, that I received a call from him again, and this time around he had developed some complications with passage of urine, and when we re-evaluated him, we now found out that I think we were dealing with progressive disease. Sooner before we could do anything, he developed bowel complications as well, as a result of complications on his nerve supplies to his bowel. We were quick to have him admitted, and we had to discuss, and we agreed in principle that we change his treatment to an immunotherapy form of therapy, given that he was quite very weak and frail. He couldn't tolerate chemotherapy. We began him on that treatment, but down the road, Honorable continued to deteriorate, and we had him hospitalized. In the course of hospitalization, now the challenge was complications with his bowel movements. We called on the GI surgeons to come on board to help with the bowel complications, but we couldn't do much at that point of time. He developed more fluid accumulation in his abdomen and also in his lungs, despite our effort to provide immunotherapy. Following that, discussions were made to have him airlifted to Nairobi. He was received by Professor Nsereko Lule at Nairobi Hospital. They attempted to do as much as they could, but a couple of days, 2 days after his arrival in Nairobi, he developed what we call sepsis infection, kidney failure, and on the early morning of the 25th of August, he got a cardiac arrest and he could not be revived. That was the tough bit. We lost the battle to lung cancer, but as a team that has cared for Honorable, we learned a very important lesson from him. He was a very, very patriotic man. It took us a great effort to convince Honorable even to go out of Uganda. He believed in us. He believed in Uganda that he had fought for, that he had liberated. And he told me, Omoding, when I saw your team, you must treat me in my country. His words were very heart-moving and very challenging to us. In our entire medical career, we were not seen as a senior citizen who was not willing to travel out of his country to go out for treatment. We will miss Honorable ELLY TUMWINE. He's a patriot. He was very a knowledgeable man as well. He shocked many of us, even in the medical field. He was widely read. We want to thank the government, His Excellency the President, on behalf of our medical team. We also want to thank the family. I want to thank the UPDF, Directorate of Medical Services, and we want to thank God Almighty for a life well lived of Honorable ELLY TUMWINE.
Uncle Eddie, akaronderi Rahanga simwe shara Shivon mwena numwemanya abana bangoye Rahanga simwe mami nshabira mukazi yo kutubeta kutinde okushanga nairo kutubentu bangu nofa niwo benoshura mezi Rahanga simwe antijore tingwenda gamba Uncle Eddie ninza kumugamba muheru ninyenda kusima antijore mumutera munga Eshanti jore manyo mukusima Uncle Eddie na antijore nyango era kanyakira ndio mtifo tata yaheza kufa nabanyeta Kituma Brenda mwishukuru wa CLT henda ababurunga kazo Uncle Eddie abardatento ombuzare. He was my mentor, he was my friend, he was everything. Ito tukabaga mfuzi ka muntu yakigamba buri tamu akashomesa abana 68 no kushaka konka 68 n'ababene batura ntantije bakora shopping, akora shopping atureberera omu guest house Kororo anti Mbabazi Rwakanyara bakabahwerana na antijera Kizoku kumbe nakwamana guma nantera story nangambira kuyanywine na dadi okubanywine makere nangambira kubatwire hamwe burunga okuyabe nashomero watadenko bitehenda aguma nangambira byo nambuza buza ngundashasha ntumanya ngo Erika ni ndeboriot ati don't worry anyeshongor eshango rahanga kumpeire mwenu izoba kuyagire kushikatware yaremba antijore yatugera tunyabara mwe ati museyo rayende kugambe cyakwenda kugamba kigambe akimugambire mureke kuzagambira shanduki antijore ni nkwebaza okuthabure cyo yebare munonga shimugambire bintu byanje byona mbajwekere mfuze za Uganda zona nzimba mugambire buri kimwe namwebaza on your behalf namwebaza nti yebare yakimanya yankwata umungano yamanya ngo message naji mugambe yebara antijore for your guidance. I shan't go what
very much. So, Daddy, my relationship with Daddy, I am Daddy's last girl. And so many people thought I was the last one, but I am not. Jeremiah had to go to the village, but he will be back. And I think because of that, I can't take some longer. And I think sometimes it also went overboard, because there are times I felt like Daddy just wanted to see me as a flower vase in the house, and it's okay. He would ask Edna, and I'm like, but Daddy, I can't sit at home and just look. Not have a conversation with me, not to, just for me to be home. And it used to rub me off the wrong way. Then I realized it was all love. And he did that for each and every one of us as well. We all have unique relationships with Daddy. No one can say, I don't know, how can I remember Daddy? If they're to all share memories, if they are going to share memories, they'll all be very unique. So, me and Daddy are very alike. Tukunda bantu tutahome jenye tuyaraifu and one of those things he said, Konki way, every wedding that is there for you, you go. And I learned a saying in Nyankolo, Ejuga is a rebel. And after I learned that saying, every time he'd ask me, I said, Ejuga is a rebel. So if you think for you wait for weddings, now you wait for me. Because I will also attend just like you have. I also have as very many friends just like you have. And yeah, that was our relationship. The last thing, I got to spend Father's Day with him, the last Father's Day with him on the 19th of June, 2022. I put him in my car, you guys, I drove Daddy. We put a full jug in a small car, and I drove him to a restaurant, and we sat down and talked. I talked about so many things, conversations I am thankful for that I had. I remember I him things that were really on my heart, because growing up, me and Daddy were very, very close. And then I think when I became a bit older, he became a bit too tough. And then I said, but that day we talked about certain things that I think had affected our relationship. And I wanted to share it not only with my siblings, but with everyone here. And it was one of the things that I told him about was anger. And it was something that had rid him of so much. And when I told him about it, he was actually shocked. And he's like, I thought I was so easy. I said, Daddy, easy? How? Like, you know how it reaches a point, and because he's such a military man, when it's here, like they've been saying, it is here. Try and fail, but never fail to try. That was Daddy. And so it started building here. So I told him about it, and he said, you know, it's only people that are with, like, friends or see you or know you that can tell you these things and you realize. And he was so thankful for it, and he promised to be better. And he really was. He really was. It's not something that was going to change in a snap of a finger, but he was more intentional in, yes, letting go and catching himself. When he's about to, he's like, let me pour water on this fire. And it really enhanced very many relationships. It also enhanced his relationship with Mommy. And yeah, it was really something that we thank God for. Yeah. Let me allow my siblings to say something. But Daddy, we love you. We always will. You're here to stay in us. And we are going to make you so proud. So I was saying, Daddy, I think I should first start with thanks. Yes. I think let me first build strength. I want to thank the doctors. Let me start with the doctors. Dr. Omoding, he holds a very special place in this family. There's a night Dr. Omoding came at 3 a.m. and was here till morning to be with Daddy, to help Daddy, to make sure Daddy was okay. He was the reason that, okay, it was God, but through him, that he was able to also enjoy. As you've heard, he found out, or it was confirmed 2 years ago, that he was able to attend all these functions. He was able to attend, to go and do his work, go home, visit people, see people, because he was in very good hands and a very good doctor. Thank you so much, Dr. Omadi. I would like to thank our bigger family that's not here. Our aunties, our uncles that encouraged Daddy, Uncle Enos, Uncle Ellie, Uncle Ezekiel, Daddy's friends. He really talked about you. He loved you so much. And towards the end, he kept on asking, do you know my 20 good friends? And we kept on telling him, but Daddy, they can't only be 20 because it's the whole world. Today it's this one, tomorrow it's this one, tomorrow it's that. But he loved each and every one of you. I can't mention all their names, but thank you so much for being such a good support system for him in his good and his bad times. I also want to thank, I'll start with the in-laws, in-laws, we call them in-laws, they became one of us. They may not be here, but they are really part of the children. Thank you so much. You know yourselves. I'm not going to go down into mentioning names. good, but I'm going to do it anyway. Uncle D, Rowan, Sheila, Terry, thank you so, so much for being part of the family. Daddy loved you, and you loved him back. You don't take that for granted. I want to thank my siblings. Guys, thank you so much for loving Daddy. And Auntie said that we didn't thank him when he was here. We thanked him. Each and every one of us thanked him when he was here. There is no doubt about that. So thank you guys for loving Daddy. As much as he loved us too much. But we loved him back, definitely. Right before I talk about Mommy, there's something I wanted to talk about. This was when we were in the hospital in Nairobi, when we were praying for him. One of the things that we were convicted about was to seek forgiveness on his behalf. So to ask God to forgive him of everything and that he did knowingly or unknowingly that was wrong, and just seek forgiveness so that he is on a clean slate. And I also wanted not to only do it with God, but with everyone here. In case Daddy wronged you in a way, please forgive him. He forgave you. If you also wronged him, he forgave you. He forgave you, he forgave you. We talked about forgiveness so much towards the end. And I don't know for people who went for functions that he was at, he talked about how he even forgave a mosquito. So, if he can forgive a mosquito, how much more a human being? Yeah? So, kindly take this apology from us on behalf of Daddy, and also receive forgiveness on behalf of Daddy. Mami, ntukushabira. Ninyushka nongambira uti nkareba mukintu kyakakoma konkechi. Mami, we are with you. Like I told Daddy, I remember one day Dada can't feel in one of these last days in Nairobi. So when they had just resuscitated him and he had got back to his consciousness, I told him, Daddy, don't give up. Fight, you are a fighter, you are a fighter, fight on. Wait for Mommy, she's coming. I told him, don't go before she comes. Queen, Queen, we are with you in death, we are with you in life, we are here. Hasn't the young Mommy, Queen, we are with you. We're going to love you and be with you unconditionally. Thank you for everything that you did for Daddy, the sleepless nights. Leo I thank you so much. I can't thank you enough. Sleep well, Daddy. You're an angel, a glorious one. Without a shadow of a doubt, we know that you're in heaven. Enjoy those wings because you've earned them. I love you so much.
The last moments were bad. God knows everything. Got it. Daddy now Kureka, rest in peace. I shall forever miss you.
Emmanuel Tumwine Tine bingi byokugamba. But all I can say, Daddy loved us. Even the little time Daddy had, he was so busy. As a busy father. Nevertheless, her day for less. Dadi kwabo mutera agamba nawe ibintu byo kumugambira. You are in hard situation, he will tell you itwe tukaguzibwa umwaka twabonabona twaza a boxer for a year. Konga nicyo cyatuyemo bushiza. Ahuraga kamaman atmweni mwega muhiro mshanye mtimwe kiroho numyano mnywano mbyama. Indeed menda kabona mwenenga menda abena teta insteta kobe no mhika Mugudisha pero akishaganda. And this world belongs to the organized and the disciplined. And the disasters are waiting for the disorganized and the indisciplined. And when I go to the inemche, but the inemche that I got. We didn't even do it. We didn't. I can't shake a white chamber. I can't gamble. Indeed, he was a dud. Azana, at the moment, you capture moment. It comes and never comes back.
Yargawe hikaku kurumagara genseji. The last moments were bad. God knows everything. Gary, that did not Africa, rest in peace. I shall forever see.
Talking about that, it's like a bad dream that we're going to wake up from. Okay. My name is Shiba Mama. Ndakwebaza hanga mnonga abo magaraga amhire. I thank God so much for the life that He gave Daddy. I personally believe, and I told him that Daddy, you've lived a long life of riches and honor, like the Bible says, because you are a righteous man. Daddy, God gave him everything. You've seen videos circulating of him saying, God gave me everything I asked Him for. Daddy always used to tell us, even on his brokest days, when you would go to him and ask him for money, he would tell you, I'm rich. I'm rich. He gave himself to each and every one of us. I personally admire Daddy so much for his brave character. How he always used to tell us he was ready to die, and he would make fun of us being scared of death, especially me and Mommy. Akagumana at that, me, nyoni tayari, anytime Nobna kufahati tukumenda God forbid. Atuna forbidding at manage. And he always said that, not just now. Means my daddy kokuttetsa unconditionally. Twena kokutulia abakuru abana, then his grandkids, he would just become a nuisance. He loved them so much and they love him too. And some of them don't understand right now, but it's a lot. He loved mommy, like Edna said, we all do. Daddy loved his country. He loved God very sincerely. Everything that Daddy did, he did exceedingly. Like, he would outperform himself at everything. There's a sister of mine, Shara here, who likes calling him my Valentine. But that's because he loved us so much that he set the standard of love for all of us that we couldn't be loved any less because he loved us right. He supported us so much. No more shavizitu, no more virunje, I remember there was a day in high school in particular, they called Daddy to school because my brother had written on a wall and it was illegal. And they defended him and said, "Oh my bucket, they are painting. As even a painting, it's art." Like, he would defend you, and then after Wakana, Konkaya Helze could defend you from Nishogama. That it was so much fun. A very fun man. You've seen his videos of him dancing in this compound that are going viral. That was Daddy on a normal day. He would, he was so humorous. He would try to catch up with the trends, even of our age. Dada come and I'm chatting by Dada could hi. He was just so funny. He loved music. We had that in common. He would wake up one morning and say, "Now Shiba, we're going to compose a song." Then Antoine and Tikankanambo Stadium, Matisha. Oh God, and I would want the ground to swallow me. And then we would sing his malaria songs with him. And we would laugh. But my God, we don't take those moments for granted. It's because he was just so much fun. He was fun to be around. Our children enjoyed him. We enjoyed him. We really give glory to God for that. I thank God for giving us an opportunity as a family to nurse him. I don't take it for granted. I thank God that we got an opportunity to see him, even in that state where he didn't want us to see him. In Nishka in particular, when I went to see him in Mulago, the moment I went through the door, he said, because he knew I used to fear. And he would tell me, "Shiba, I'm fine. No one's Nairobi. He could not speak at that time, but he just held my hand and squeezed it, and I knew he was telling me, like, "You Kagala, I know you, be strong, And we got to pour our hearts to him, and he could hear us, and he would cry. Actually, we would see him tearing when we were talking to him. I thank God for giving us that moment. Now my weak spot.
Spread his tent over them. Never again will they hunger, never again will they thirsty. Sun will not beat upon them, nor any scorching sun.
Sana vino vitu vya umote na vita vya umote na vita vya umaria tusonge mpaka guru ina iboreo ijine siya sana zino na vita vya umote na vita vya umote na vita vya tusonge mpaka Masaka
Jifunzeni siasa na mbinu za vita vya umma, na vita vya umma, na vita vya umma niyo